Guys, I'm bringing my show Roleplay on tour all across Northern Ireland in May, June and July. I'm everywhere. I'm in the Lyric in Belfast. I'm going to Antrim, Enniskillen, Derry, Portrush, Marifelt, everywhere. We're travelling the country. The tickets are available now via the link in the description of the video. I tell you everywhere and every date, but I don't have my phone right here and I can't remember. But we're going everywhere with the show Roleplay and it's going to be a great time. If you're a fan of Sly Guy Podcast and you want to get extra podcasts, you want early access to this podcast, you want behind the scenes footage, you want vlogs, you want everything else, head over to patreon.com/Sly Guy Podcast. Or if you can't be arsed doing that, the description of this podcast. You can get all there. We've even got a link to the merch on my website, not officially released yet, but we'll say nothing. And you can find everything else all on patreon.com/Sly Guy Podcast and help support us grow the podcast. Do you see the way it looks now? In a couple of weeks, it's going to look totally different. And that's all because of you guys on Patreon. So thank you for everything you've done. And let's carry on forth. The Sly Guy Podcast is brought to you in association with Modest Beer. Do you like beer? Yes. Do you like being modest? Probably not, because you're all fucking narcissists. But if you want to hear about a modest company who won't blow their own trumpet, it's Modest Beer. Go to their website, www.modestbeer.co.uk. And if you see what you like there, you're like, these beers look pretty tasty. I'd like to pour some of that shit down my gullet. And you want to just buy some, head to the checkout and you want a wee discount, I'll give you 15% off by using the code SLYPA15 at checkout. That's SLYPA15, get 15% off any beers or merch at www.modestbeer.co.uk. Oh, bye.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to this week's episode of the Sly Guy Podcast. And what an episode it was. I don't know where you're listening to this, whether you're doing a wee bit of prep for the marathon yourself, whether you're just in work, whether you're just sitting at home with the eyes closed, the feet back, the trousers down, just having a good time, wherever it is, this was a fun episode. It's another feature-length episode. We've done an hour and a half of podcasting here today, and it was with my friend and yours, and one of my favourite people to have on the show was James McKegney. We ended up, I don't even know where we started, but we went on a journey. We went on a journey from psychology of the mind, of the criminal mind, to chandeliers made out of come, there you go. And via the marathon, we talk about the marathon we're both training for, talked about comedians, boxing. What else do we talk about?
Fucking.
Yep, we talked about fucking for a bit as well. It was a good time.
Serial killing.
Joan of Arc's ditties?
Joan of Arc, the history of Joan of Arc. We talked about serial killing kits.
Kill kits and disassembling the kill kit.
Dismantling the kill kit.
Well, that's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no point in me telling you what's coming when you're about to see what's coming. And we never stop coming and we keep coming because we are the David Goggins of podcasting. This is this week's episode of the Sly Guy Podcast with myself and my glorious guest, James McKegney. Yeah, so you're here, and welcome to. How are you feeling, mate? How's the form?
Dude, I'm feeling good. We're here at a really spooky time of 8 o'clock at night.
What is the deal with 8 o'clock being spooky? Can you say that to me? I was like,
it's just late in the evening, man. I'm usually like tucked in bed. I've got a candle going. It feels like I'm in
with a Ouija board.
Dude, sometimes I'll literally lie in bed, turn the lights off, put a candle, and play like a background noise of medieval, like dining hall. And I'll sit there like as if I'm in a and it feels like you're in a medieval dining hall.
You and me are two guys who would be able to be lifted and dropped in that era pretty well.
Yeah, I think I would
say.
Just eating a giant turkey leg, drinking some mead.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, just
somebody with a wee mandolin. Like, I don't know what do you do with a mandolin, if that's even.
You pluck it too, don't you?
Yeah.
Fucking, like Fieldy from Corn. Just
yeah, dude.
That'd be a great. I was actually thinking that on the way up. I was listening to a podcast about Gilles de Rais. Have you heard of him? He's like the OG serial killer from France, yeah. No. Like, and he was mates with Joan of Arc.
Oh, yeah. What did Joan of Arc do? The book? She fought. No,
she fought like she was like pretended that like she did like a whole honey dick trans thing. Yeah. So she made herself look like a guy, and then
she
apparently
was like 13 or something, wasn't she?
Oh, why?
She was like,
and then she just led the army in France and said God was controlling her.
Yeah, lad. You know what? The crazy thing is, like, you think back to all them like wars and the old sieges and shit. And you think that's all like 40-year-old men, but it's all like fucking 14-year-old kids.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
These crazy stories about what they're like. Our kids are on TikTok and they were like taking over France.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Oh, and
it's
like,
an army.
But what I liked about it, I didn't know a lot about Joan of Arc. I just knew she was burnt to death in the end. That's how she got murked that way.
Got roasted to death.
She had a sweet bowl haircut.
I was picturing a bowl haircut.
She had the sweet bowl haircut. She got burnt to death, and then she did some fighting. That's all I knew. Now, from listening to this podcast, I didn't know she had like dope bespoke weaponry and all. So she like found that she's like, apparently she'd go, God told me to go into this church. There's a sword for me. Yeah. And she'd go into church and be like, told you. And then come out with the sword.
Crazy.
So then she sends it away and gets all these crosses carved into it. She went out. She got her armor done, but made it white. Yeah. So she's like this white angel.
That's classic. Just create an iconic look, and you can do anything, lad.
See, she's like Anna Wintour. Like,
yeah, that's just slayed.
But then that was another thing apparently, and I thought this was a great trick. So, like, you know what? They should do things like this more nowadays.
What's that?
Decipher and like prove, like, just to settle situations without fact. Sometimes you need stuff like this. So King, I think it was Richard or Louis of France or something, he was kicking about now again.
Is this the King in Robin Hood? King Louis?
No, that's that. King Louis is the king in the Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book.
Big orangutan,
the monkey. Yeah.
So
same guy.
He did, the King of France, whoever he was like, so if Joan of Arc wants to be like, because I think she just wanted to like lead armies. Yeah. And he was like, well, you kind of got to be noble for that. And she's like, well, I've got God. And he was like, well, do you? So apparently back in those days, there's no TikTok, no social media. People didn't know how the King of France looked. Yeah. So the King of France just was like, I'll play a wee prank on her and see how fucking divine she is. So he was like, he's dressed as one of the noblemen. And I was like, if she can, like, go to them, if you can find which one of these men is the king, you can have the King's Council. And she was like, that one, mate. And he's like, oh, fuck, you got me, yeah. So then she just swayed into the circle. And
that is enough convincing for him. They're like, oh shit, no, whatever she wants.
And you know another thing is,
whatever you want, bro.
Those guys couldn't keep secrets. See, whenever they got their wee quills out and they're writing their scrolls, everything in it. So they were like, there was a thing they wrote about Joan of Arc. It was like, on several occasions, on different scrolls and stuff, they had written, she was like, average looking, but with magnificent breasts. Like, it's like just magnificent. Like the phrase, like, what are you in those days that you're just sitting in a wee?
They just have that. Dude, that's just all guys. They just have that on the tits. Like, do you ever like watch? There's like videos of if a guy directed, like men directing any female movie, and it's just like, the lead character walks over to the fridge and opens to get some milk while her giant breasts are in the... They always had to bring in the tits. Yeah. You're like, that was unnecessary. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Like, can you imagine, like, proofreading that for that dude? Being like, if you got is a history... And, like, that's probably what heralded in the Dark Ages. Yeah. People were like, these guys are just writing about tits and stuff. That's TMI.
Do you know what's crazy, though? I think back then it would be so easy to get an army behind you with... like convincing people that God's on your side, because I think it's like people seem to have this thing where even if they know it's not exactly true, they'll tell that story in the way because it sounds more impressive to tell a crazy story to your friend. Like even now, like say if you're telling a funny story, you'll like make things a wee bit sillier, even though that didn't happen, but this will sell it better. So half the time people probably didn't believe her, but the stories just got crazier and crazier of what this chick does with God. And then everyone just went with it, you know what I mean? Everyone's like, fuck it, let's just go to war, why not?
Because there was a woman kicking about in those times, and she was like part of the crew, but she was like, nah, she got beatified, but made into like a saint.
What's that?
Because like whenever they make you into a saint.
Okay.
So like what she did, she was like, I have the power of God on my side, and then apparently, I don't know who's backing this up. Some guy, it's clearly too much meat, was like, the devil arrived in the form of a dragon and ate her.
Holy shit.
And then spat her, and she managed to get out of and live.
Yeah, that's
from that happening. But then the king was like, well, if you survive that, you're clearly a witch, and beheaded her.
Oh!
So that's such... And then the church was like, no, that was a divine act.
Yeah.
She's going to be a saint or whatever, so...
I think it'll be fun. Do you know think it'll be fun to go on like maybe create a vlog and try and do... all the, because there's sort of a criteria of what you need to become a saint. Yeah. But let's try and hit everything. See, if by the end we can be, was it canonized as a saint?
Yeah, you can be. Yeah, because isn't the last pope? Is he a saint?
I'm gonna Google the criteria for a saint.
Because I think you have to do it like showcase a divine act.
Yeah, maybe it might be too hard actually.
Yeah, but you know, like what could be, like see nowadays if you brought those guys back and like you did a water bottle flip, they might be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like it could be something like in our day and age, what would consist of a divine act. Like,
but see if you went back now with that light,
Oh, bro.
People would be like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah, I always think that. I always think if I went back in time, I'd rule the world. But as soon as I got there, I'd be like, bro, have you heard of an iPhone? And they're like, no, what is it? And I'd be like, it's a kind of, like, you can go on the internet, and they're like, what's the internet? And I'm like, it's like...
But you know what would
space,
be such a
time.
bad thing? You would be beheaded for being mental.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
They'd be like, what the fuck?
You'd be dropped in there, and I don't think anyone ever pays enough attention to the fact it would stink so bad.
Oh,
people's
bro,
breath.
Everybody back there has got like 4 teeth. Oh. What is that? I seen a meme. It was like when you're going to get laid or when you're going to ride somebody, but they haven't had a shower since last week's river bath.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's like they'll. Oh, they fucking stink. Everybody fucking like this.
Yeah. But then like. Also, the smell of their piece and their punani and all would be rotten too, and they'd be pubes everywhere, pubes for days.
Oh man, like fuck. It's only really now that like I wonder what we're doing that in like 100 years time they're like they were fucking stinking bastards, lad.
Eating ass.
I was thinking of eating ass. Legitimately, the first thing in my head. Yeah. Do you think that's a thing that's become like popular at the minute because it's almost been memeified, eating ass?
Yeah.
People are going to be like, you obviously eat ass when you're having sex.
But then like, it's where everything, it's like, that's what freaks me out, but like, what's next?
Yeah, what is next?
What is next? Because like, I remember listening to this, like, it's now that, like, this is something that I thought was really weird, was I was watching YouTube and an advert for Love Honey came on.
Yeah.
So this one was like, oh, like, I can't remember who it was. It was some celebrity. It was like, oh, I got this, and this is really class. This wee tool, and like, you know, I would recommend it. If you get up here, you get 20% off this.
It's like a gigahammer dildo, fucking dragon finger.
That's whoever that woman is, basically going like, I'm just wanking flat out.
I know, and it's so normal now, dude. Like talking about jacking it.
Yeah, but like if you're a dude, and you're like if there's an advert, he's like comes up and he's like, I just beat my meat like twice today.
Yeah, it's
Cheers.
like,
you know,
I just used this pussy fire 5 it's just a giant ass and it's got a vibrating pussy and authentic screamy sounds. Not screaming, but like screaming enjoyment.
No, stop it.
I got it at lovehoney.com.
Oh no.
Imagine someone like found that in your house.
Yeah, so there was a film where there was a dude who had like the full sex doll and it fell out of his wardrobe or something. It was really funny and his mates were like, what's that? And he's like, oh no, don't worry about it.
That's Agatha.
And there was a dude I saw actually on Twitter. The police were looking at him because he broke into a sex store and stole like a full sex doll. Like, you know, the proper prosthetic ones and all. Yeah. And he was just running away with it. And they're like, this thing he stole is about $1,000.
This guy needed to come.
Yeah.
Like so badly.
But then like, do you think he does? And then he's like, oh no, I wish I'd left.
Yeah, imagine the post-nut clarity after like, I literally broke into a shop and stole a human-sized sex doll.
You'd have to walk. I would have to walk.
It's just lying there.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
like,
don't look at me.
It's so weird. Like, I just think people, there's like the old saying, there's nothing as queer as folk. Like, people are like, just, they do the most like random things. And like, there's that's what I always think about sex toys. There's designers out there being like, we need to do something to come.
Yeah.
What? Like, a dude's basically like, well, there's nothing that beats a hand. And the guy has a hand. So what can we do to add to this experience? That must be hard. Whereas with women, you can like make all these different things. Because I'd say no matter what, a woman, a guy's never going to be like a guy's always going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
You know, because they're always like, I know what they want. What's that? They want all my fingers in there. I was like, no, that's not what they like. So then women with these nice wee vibrating toys and all, it's great. Whereas the dude, it's like, all we need is, like, my wife needs to have my grip. And
that's it. You just need something gyrating against your wee and then you're fucking you're in cum town, lad.
That's what happens sometimes if I'm in like the passenger seat in the car and I'm just feeling pretty relaxed and on a bumpy road. I'm like, oh shit, this is great. You know, it's
blurt the girt.
But that's the weird thing. Like, who's like the designer of sex toys?
Do you know what? There's definitely like a job where you are like the beta tester for the sex toys. Mm-hmm. Do you imagine like how raw your wiener would be if you're just sitting there like, oh fuck, I have to try out like 16 vibrating rings today. Just sitting there all day like.
But you know what they all got to be? Just, you know, blood pressure monitors. Just put something in your dick and just pump it up and get really tight and then switches vibrate a wee bit.
Oh mate, do you know what? One time me and my friends when we were younger found a cock, when we were like really young, found a cock ring in one of the group's of parents' drawers.
Oh, no.
And we were like, sweet, let's take it. It wasn't open or anything. They had a few. And we took one and we just dared our mate. We're like, just wear it until the battery runs out. So we were just walking about the town. He was just wearing this dick ring in like the shopping centre, and he was just like,
was that like the ones you get in like condoms?
Yeah.
But, right,
the ones that they hurt, like they don't feel good. It's really short, and he just wore it for like an hour or two, and it just eventually ran out.
Because then I've seen a lot of cock rings recently on the Pleasure Boys. Like those guys just they put it all in, and it's just.
I think it holds like, say if you like, do you know if you like beat it around a wee bit and you get a bit plumpage, it holds it in place. The plumpage.
See, that's why the Pleasure Boys were getting it on.
Dude,
the show.
Lad, I know of guys that'll literally wear dick rings to the gym, so they've got a nice cock print.
See, like that's
not. I know them on the internet. Yeah. I've seen it in their stories. Like, should I wear a dick ring? And they had a wee vote, and everyone's like, yes. And they're like, this is the one I'm wearing to the gym.
See, but then
like,
what happens?
Whoa, it's going on.
If you're really getting a pump and you strain too much, you'd be like, oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know, man.
But then I always wonder too, like with the cock rings, if. I would say always wonder. I've just thought.
Something to think of every day.
But like, if you're in the gym, you're pumping too hard, and you happen to have a heart attack or something.
Yeah, you're finding my dick ring on.
Yeah, that's gonna be like
he was like, what are you gonna say?
Like, what's he doing?
Wearing a cock ring for some reason. I think if you die and you're wearing a cock ring in any situation, like he also had a cock ring on. If anyone wants to know that.
Yeah, I would love that. Imagine that pathologist report.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I don't know if this is nothing to do with the cause of death, but I just think people need to know. David a cock ring on. Cheers.
Just. It's a fact.
And like another thing that's too common that people are sometimes wearing are those wee butt plugs with the diamonds in them.
Yeah.
Like they're popping around these days quite a lot.
Yeah, butt plugs, man.
But that's because then I think like for sure pop them in the odd time, that'd be grand. But I think day to day it's a hassle. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like surely you couldn't if you had one of those in you just walking about like that would be. Yeah. You would know somebody had a cock or a dick. What is it? A butt plug?
Yeah.
There's so many different things we go through. You know someone had a butt plug in. Surely by then.
Yeah, but then also if you're going for dump, you'd have to like go, and then be like, oh,
rinse that off.
Yeah,
get her back in.
And then I think like that sort of stuff. It's like anything. There's time and a place.
Time and a place. I
think if you're working admin, you shouldn't have a cock ring on or a butt plug.
Or maybe that's the only thing that brings a bit of dangerous to your life.
But then it's like this is where the worry comes again with sex toys. Sometimes the worry I'd say would be if you become too reliant on them.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go back to the real, you
can't be at it every like that's a special occasion like fucking your birthday or Christmas or your child's christening or something. You know what I mean?
But then what happens? That's another problem. You can't be. You're at risk if you get debagged. Like that has to be outlawed.
Yeah, getting debagged. Yeah. You're like. He's got a cock ring on. Or one of them wee cock cages. Have you seen them?
Yes. I don't but this is a world I just can't like I understand a lot of stuff and I can see what the merit in a lot of stuff is. I can see why a butt plug would be nice. I can see why I don't see all these people are like, this mistress owns me. And I'm like, I don't think what's gonna happen? She's gonna pulverize my balls? No. That's not sweet.
Pulverize my balls. Yeah, I wonder what that goes back to, like, 'cause everything goes back to your childhood, they say, like, what happened that you love just now as an adult, love being, like, fucking shot at and your dick in a cock ring and being told you're a filthy little bitch.
Yeah. I would be like, actually, I beg your pardon. No.
Don't speak to me like that.
Yeah, like, who do you think this
what
is?
The fuck? I was so rude.
Yeah, it's like, I like it, I like it when someone, like, I think good form helps. You know what I mean? If you're gonna get a bit frisky, you want someone to be like, a wee bit flirty, but like not being like, you've got a small dick and I want to beat it, or like off. No, just want to fucking grab your
pathetic little dick, and you're like, this is making me sad. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. That would just make me too sad. Like.
That's what we need to do on our show. Go in and just sit in on something like that and be like, what do you get out of this?
Yeah.
Do you need this or do you just need a chat?
I wonder would you be? Yeah, do you just need a fucking?
Yeah.
What
do
you
you think,
talk?
Man?
Do you just want a hug? I wonder what could you do an entire podcast episode with everybody linked up. This is maybe weird. Do you know I'm like
don't say human centipede.
Not a human centipede. That wouldn't be good for anybody. But
like you don't have one person able to talk in that whole podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody else, yeah. Well, like everybody linked up to kind of some like penis stimulation. Like, let's not do it, but penis stimulation and just see if you can get through a normal conversation with everyone just like, no.
But then would you need like I don't know, I'm thinking Thomas Edison, but the master of electricity, and Einstein in the middle is just controlling the pulses.
Yeah, just turning it up every time. Just like, oh, no.
I mean, that would be tremendous. All around a round table, all dicks just connected and just have to talk. Let's listen. Does anyone out there? What would be? And again, this is what you find out with podcast listeners. There'll be someone who'll DM me and be like, "I've got that.
I can sort that, mate.
Do you want me to sort it for you?" Be like,
yeah, let's do it, lad.
He's like, "Listen, it's not going through any health and safety checks, but
He's like, I made this in my garage.
I own a farm. I'm just taking a cattle prod and just put it together and."
Well, lad, do you know what? I think this is the type of thing that they'll have in like China. Do you ever watch their game shows? And it's like the X Factor, but whilst the person's singing, they're getting jacked off. Yeah. And they have to try and make it through this. Like, this is literally a thing I've seen. And they have to try and make it through the song while it's getting jacked off.
But then, imagine you went soft during it and just finished the song.
And everyone was like, oh, it's embarrassing.
Like, what about that?
Yeah.
Finished the song, didn't it?
It just didn't get hard at all.
But the ultimate would be to go so soft through it and then finish the song. And then as soon as you win, what about that? You know, it turns me on. Victory. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's gross, man.
Because like you see some of that, like that's the thing. China don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
No. Like, do you see that thing? It's like, I don't know if this is offensive, and it was a Chinese man with blackface singing like.
That's so crazy. Like.
And it was just, it's like, you know what, classic.
Yeah, I feel like the Chinese could get away with it. You're just like, do your thing, lads.
Yeah. Do you know what this is the thing, like, have they just lured us in with just classic humor for years, and then now they're just going to take over the world? Because like America's shitting their bricks about TikTok. They're like, well,
yeah, lad,
these Chinese guys are,
yeah, lad. Actually, they want to close down TikTok because they think China's getting too much influence over the kids. Mm-hmm. I think it's because it's like become a class place for actual news. Do you know what I mean? You can get like solid news on TikTok, like it's all the protests, everything you don't see on TV. Yeah. I don't think they like that. Yeah, that's my conspiracy mind. Yeah. No, listen, we actually got a bit conspiratorial last week when Shane was on the podcast, so much so we have to re-record it. Oh, really? He was like, that was a bit shit. And he was too exposed.
No, we were, maybe, but we were both a wee bit like low-key, just being like, because this is my...
Can we get assassinated for that? Ass-in-ated.
Yeah, and then like, that'd be us. Like, we'd get assassinated, and then it'd be like, listen, I did the autopsy. They were assassinated, however, Shane had a butt plug and cock ring, and I'd be like, oh no, because that's the worst thing about dying. You can't defend yourself, you know.
Yeah, after that point, you're done. Like,
yeah, and then you're like my mum once thought I was up to something a wee bit dodgy,
right? Cock
ring related. You know the weight clamp that keep the weights on a barbell.
Yeah, that was cock ring.
Yeah, because I brought home because I was like, this is really good for your grip. Yeah. It was in my room, and I came home one day. This is a kitchen table. What's this?
Why do mums do that? Like, if she seen that and was like, my son's putting this on his cock, I'm gonna sit at the kitchen table and ask him about it. Just don't say anything.
But then also, it was low key a compliment because the actual circumference of the thing was about that. I was like, she must think I have.
I'll tell you what that is, man. That's something to prove I have a fat cock.
Yeah, imagine
congratulations.
I was like, it's a functional cock ring. Yeah, you know, it keeps weight plates on and also keeps me turgid all day. What about that?
What about that? Sorry.
Yeah, but that's the thing with mums.
They just have to know.
But it never ends well for them because then you tell them, "Oh, that's just that," and then you're like, "Hold on, so you know stuff like this exists? What do you think I'm doing? Like this sort of like in China, like that's the sort of stuff they use TikTok for. Those guys would be like, "This is cock rings," and then all these like American kids would be just using weight plates.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
You know, but then
nobody would actually be using it, but all the lads would. Oh, I'd definitely use that.
Yeah,
yeah. It's actually a wee bit too small.
Yeah, but you know what though? I don't like anything. See, with that, if you squeeze it, there's a wee gap in between, so you could nip your skin or get a haircut in there, and you don't want that.
You don't want that. No. Nothing like getting a wee nip down there. It's not good.
No, but I had a friend who had a flashlight that got discovered by his mum. Yeah, her and his dad were looking to go to the shed to find something. Like, oh, do you have a torch anywhere? And he's like, yeah, Paul's got one in his wardrobe. And then they're like, oh no, like they got out and it's like, this isn't lighting up. And it's like, oh, that's why, because there's a full vagina.
There's a vagina stuck in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend got me a bottle opener from like Spain at one point, but it's like this really giant cock with a bottle opener at the bottom of it.
Do you know what? Good tool. Not very functional.
No, not at all. And I've literally just hid it in my cupboard because I'm like, there's no way I could put this in my house and my mom's gonna be like, what the fuck? So it's been in my cupboard under clothes for like 10 years. So if she ever finds it, it's gonna look worse that it's hidden under a pile of clothes.
Yeah, but see stuff like that. It's like, where's the level? Because wardrobes are always the place. Like, you didn't see the video when I was kicking about social media this week, but the dude, the police called up his body cam footage. I was like, your mum phoned the police, and like a guy's clearly like autistic or something, and he's like a guy, I mean 19, 20, and he's like, hello. And the guy's like, your mum phoned us. Do you think there's any reason why that is? And he's like, I don't think so. And he's like, something you found in your wardrobe? What would it be? And he was like, a human head and hands.
That's right, I see that.
And it's like, oh wow.
He's like, it's probably human head and hands that I have in there. That's most likely the scenario that unfolded.
And how do you respond to that as a policeman? You're like, well, yeah, you can't hit the
yeah, exactly. That's exactly. I wasn't expecting you to say that, but that's exactly what we're here.
But then, like, a few dudes have done that. He's done that. Like, and then I like read that whole story, and it was like, he could have maybe got, but how he screwed himself was he killed a popular homeless guy. So like
one of the popular ones.
Yeah. So within the community, this dude would have
homeless
gone
Chad.
Like he would have gone to like a coffee shop in the day, and the coffee shop guy would be like, "Oh, say there's McKegney. There's a coffee for you," you know, and he would have gone like into the bookstore, and they'd have been like, "Let him read."
And one day McKegney shows up and he's got no head, trying to get his coffee, and they're like, "What the fuck happened to your head, bro?"
But he is this dude. But then apparently, like he killed this guy, and then like dumped the body. But then he parked his car in a river or a lake or something, and they were like, "What happened there?" And he's like, "Oh, fucking klutz." And then when he got it home, the dad was like, "Was it blood all over the car?" And also, why did he ran the dude's wallet?
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, don't hit the player, hit the game. And the dad was like, "Oh, fair enough." And then,
all right, yeah, okay.
And then like,
we're in the exact same TikTok, lad, because I seen that clip of that boy, like, human head and hands, and I immediately went and watched the documentary about them pulling the car out. There's blood all over the car. He's like, I reversed it in the river by accident.
The police are like, because there's got to be some place that like are just like sound, and like they've just gone, no worries.
Yeah, they just kind of like, they were like, there's not typically blood all over cars, but I'm sure it's fine.
But then didn't something happen with him where like the dad was like, I think he's up to something here, and the mum was like, let me check his room, and then she thought, oh, he's just left like his lunch in a bag or something in the wardrobe because there's maggots.
Yeah, and do you know what's weird? She took the head and put it in the sink. Yeah. What the fuck?
I mean, but the sink's the place.
That's such a mum.
Oh,
it's like, put it in the fucking, don't get all of it, put it in the sink.
Yeah. So like, what do you do in that instance then afterwards? Like, I wouldn't be so keen. And like, if sometimes if you're like draining pasta and we have drops in the sink, you're like, oh fuck, I need to pop it. If you know there's been a dude's head in there, you'd be like, yeah, exactly. Can you sanitize that? Can you?
Yeah, I don't think like no amount of scrubbing's gonna get that fucking head juice out of your sink.
And then Dahmer, he was the same. Remember no story about his dad finding his box in the wardrobe, and he was like, "What's in the box?" And he was like, "Is it porn?" And he was like, "No." And he's like, "Fucking, I'm going to find out you're fucking reading porn." And he's like, "No, Dad, it's not porn." He's like, "Fuck, you've pissed me off now, Jeffrey." And then Dad was like, or Jeffrey was like, "Listen, you're a bit annoyed, Dad. Come back tomorrow. I'll open the box." And he's like, "Fuck, you better."
Yeah, why would you fucking leave at that point?
And then
all right.
Yeah, but then they're like to him, the dad, they're like, "Do you have any regrets?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of wish I'd have opened the box because then Jeffrey would have been dealt with then and there and would have gone on to like do all the shit he did."
Yeah, exactly, man. And and his dad still took such pity on him as well after that and still chatted. I feel like if I found a head of my son's, I'd just shoot that fucker out of a cannon. He's done. He's cooked.
Yeah, but then like
that's TikTok.
There's always that element, isn't there, where you're like, like I think when you're a parent, you're going to go, am I to blame for this?
Yeah, I shouldn't have let them watch Jackass.
They play GTA. I knew.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, but it must be something in a serial killer's brain because we all play GTA.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? At like 8 years old, picking up hookers. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Not knowing what's going on, but you're like, they're just stretching in that car. Nice.
Yeah, you knew something was going on. You're like, that car's shaking around, something's happening. But yeah, we for the most part turned out fine.
But like that's the thing. Like that was my big like, because I wanted to do sports at uni.
Right.
I want to do sports at uni and think.
What do you mean? Just
let's like sports studies or something.
Oh right,
so
okay.
Just fun.
Just sports.
Just sports. Yeah, what do you want to do? I want to be a sport. And, what sport? Badminton.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite get the UCAS points. So like, well, you got politics and English. Is there anything like to do with that? I'm like, yeah. But at the time, I was like in the Clarice and the Silence of the Lambs, and I'd be like, I like to do that shit. I like to know.
I'd like to do Clarice.
You know, well, she just throws jizz at her, like, you know, the guy in the thing. But like, I like to know why people's brains think what they do. I like to analyze it, and I was like, I could do that. So I did a degree in criminology. And
Dude, I was going to do criminology.
I'd like to do that, but I just think sometimes people are just like, it's a sociopath thing if you don't think you've done anything wrong. You know, and that's where I think Dahmer's slightly different in that, like, you see John Wayne Gacy, he's like, oh, I didn't do it. Fuck, are you sorry? No.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sorry. You're not sorry for something you didn't do. Yeah.
And Edmund Kemper's like, yeah, I didn't like my mom. Like, I think his line was like, I just want to see what her head looked like off her body.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but are you sorry? And it's like, no, well, I've seen what it's like. And
it was
fine.
6.
And then he's like, and you know what? Like, I didn't fancy my mum, but since the head's off, I'll pull the eyes out and fuck it.
Yeah.
Which is a bit disrespectful. But
that
also,
is too far.
Like. Dahmer's kind of like, yeah. Like when they're like the Dahmer, Jeffrey, do you know you crossed the line? He was like, yeah, I mean, I knew I was kind of, I knew what I was doing was fucked up, but I just couldn't help myself.
Man, I'm listening. I don't read. I wish I could. But I'm listening to a really interesting book called Sociopath, a Memoir. So it's about a girl who's living today and she's a psychologist. But when she was like in her early 20s, she was diagnosed as a sociopath. She realized she couldn't feel empathy or anything like that. She was like, I don't love people the way normal people love. I don't feel anything about anything in particular. I don't give a shit about anything. It's actually so funny to listen to her like rationalize things because when she was a kid, these were like, she knew as a kid there was something wrong with her, but her mum goes to her, go over to the neighbours and get us some sugar. And then she comes back with...
Sounds like a flirtation.
Yeah, give me some sugar. She comes back with sugar. And her mum was like, oh, how was the Jeffersons? And she was like, don't know. She's like, well, how'd you get the sugar? And she was like, oh, I just went out of the house and took it. And she was like, they weren't there, so I just went and took it. And her mum was like, you realise that's wrong? And she was like, well, if they were there, we would have had to make small talk. And I assumed that would have been annoying for them. And I laughed because I'm like, fuck, that's me. If I can avoid small talk, I will. I'd be like, fuck, I would have stole the sugar. Like, oh, thank fuck, we don't have to. Be like, how's your day?
That's the way their brain works. It's like, I have an objective. I've done it.
Yeah, like, she couldn't understand what she learned. She knew good, right and wrong. Yeah. She just didn't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? But it's a really interesting book. She learned how to like humanize herself, and she's a psychologist now. She understands. She wanted to become a psychologist because there was nothing on sociopaths, and she was like, anything about sociopaths out there is about evil sociopaths because they only get diagnosed after they're arrested. And she's like, what about all the people that are sociopaths that never did anything wrong?
Day-to-day life.
They just know they're a sociopath. So it's fucking interesting, lad.
But it's like have you ever seen the guy who's like, oh, I mean, this is not something you should boast about. He's like, here, lads, I'm pedo.
Whoa, who's
like,
this?
What? There's this guy, and he's like, because pedophilia is not technically illegal. It's like a condition.
Yeah, it's
when
a brain
you're a pedophile,
condition.
it's a brain thing, but you're a child molester when you act on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was like, these kids are sexy as fuck. But I know.
He knows it's wrong.
He's like, I know it's fucked up. So, you know, I don't do that. But what I do, he's kind of like, he approaches being a pedophile the same kind of way as I'd approach being on diet.
Yeah.
I would say to people, listen, I'm on diet right now, so don't be offering me any biscuits. So he's like, listen, all I'm saying is, don't show me your holiday photos because I'll jack it.
He's like, don't invite me to a fucking christening, no birthdays. He's like, we'll meet for coffee and then I need to go home.
And like, you know the saying, like when dudes would say to each other, be like, listen, they want to like say a real nice compliment, be like, listen, no homo, it's just something I want to say. He's like, no pedo, the kid's looking dope. They look fucking great.
Oh my God.
First day at school, they're like, listen, no pedo, the kids.
Your dog looks great, hashtag no pedo.
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting thing to say, someone's parent. Like, wait, what did you just say then? I said, your dog looked interesting.
But it's a thought of just like high-fiving people, grabbing their hand, listen, I'm a pedophile, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not acting on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads that go in and get like castrated and stuff. Being like, oh, this is fucked up, chop these balls off.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be so fucked if you got the balls off and you're like, still, it's in the head.
Fuck. Yeah. I know, man.
I have like a Ken doll now, but I still want butt kids.
I feel like you really need to find out if, like living multiple lives is true, because if we can concrete that down, anyone who's a pedo, like, here, clock me out, do this. Yeah. This is not for me, this one.
Yeah.
Just like, douche, out, come back as a worm. Fuck.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh no, but I'm
still a pedophile worm. You're like, oh, damn it.
Shit, this is worse.
Because you're a pedophile, you're a fucking worm.
And then you'd be like, but then I can go and just like hang around gardens and stuff during summer. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, kill me, chop me in half, and you're like, fuck,
oh,
no, I'm 2 pedophile worms, lad. I'm still living.
And then what happens? And Whoa, what happens if one worm dies, one side of the worm? Do you come back as two different pedophiles? Is this how oh, whoa.
Oh, that's probably hell.
Yeah.
If the hell exists, there'll be something like that.
But
You're a pedophile worm, bitch.
then are there people who'd be like, I would, like, the same kind of way as the pedophile, that pedophile guy's like, sorry, I'm a pedophile. Just let me live out in this cabin. Like, is there, do you reckon there's guys there being like, I would really be keen to, like, kill some people, but
I guarantee there's, like, apparently you walk by, like, 25 serial killers throughout your entire life.
like real who have
Like,
bodies?
well, not serial killers, sorry. Psychopaths with murderous intention that may not, I don't know if it's you actually walk by people who have killed people or you walk by people who would kill people.
Google.
Do you want me to Google it?
Yeah, dude, because you know what? That's an absolutely dope Tinder profile.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm a sociopathic killer tendencies.
Yeah, okay. Sociopathic killer tendencies is like such a cool band name.
Oh yeah, or an album.
Yeah.
The Dammers. What's the song called? Sociopathic killer tendencies.
How many serial killers do I walk past a year?
But then here, there's like different for like, I would argue that like.
So okay, this is the answer. The average person walks past at least 36 murderers in their lifetime.
Wow,
People who have killed people.
36 is a lot.
Yeah, through your whole life,
Yeah.
like.
Because I know I have spoken to a murderer
Oh really?
before. Yeah. Now this is probably the closest. Now, in my line of work before, when I'd worked like with vulnerable people and like rehousing people, there's like elements where like, you know, you'd have characters who you know will you find out. I mean, what am I saying? You know the shop people during the Troubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's known, but there's like not enough evidence. So there's been guys like that. But there's one dude who came in and he was like well presented dude, like in his maybe late 50s, 60s, and he was pretty civil gentleman to speak to. And I was like, all right, okay. So he's like, yeah, I'm homeless. I have nowhere to go, basically. And I was like, all right, so are you on like sex offenders or anything? Because that's how I just ask that.
It's not part of the question.
Nah, but I was
I just
like,
want to know what you're up for.
yeah, and he's like, no, I'm not that or anything. And he goes, oh, but I'm just out of jail. I was like, okay, no bother. Now, with the way things have been with the Good Friday Agreement and all, you sort of are looking for like serious crimes. You're probably in jail like 8 years, 10 years. Oh, how long you been in jail for, brother? Oh, 25 years or something. Right. I was like,
You literally go, yikes, bro.
Yeah. And then because your mind goes, so it's not Troubles related, it must be something pretty serious. And I was like, okay, what happened? And he's like, you know, I had a bit of a turn. I had a bad day. I killed somebody and I really regret it and sorry. And it is, you know, you'll find out when you get the police
You're
report.
like, it's maybe something at Spar.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, are you a risk to other people? And I remember his response, and this is how you know you're a comedian, because you go, that's quite banterous. He goes, I said, are you currently a risk to anyone else? And he was like, I would say no. You know,
I would say no. A couple of people I know me
beg to differ.
Yeah,
beg to differ. So then I came back, like, so he had been assigned a social worker and he got everything sorted through them. But when the police report came back, he like had picked someone up, like, and then this must have been in this dude. He picked up a hitchhiker, so this is like sort of maybe 80s or early 90s or something. Picked him up in the car, took him somewhere. On the way, he was like, we might have killed this person. Took them to a quarry, beat them to death with a wheel brace, reversed the car over their head, threw them in the quarry, and just went home. How he got scooped was the neighbour was like, he spent a lot of time cleaning that car. He never touches the car, you know. And he's like, there's something a bit fishy about that.
Real, and then
they were like, so whenever they said when something had happened, and this is a description of like a car similar to this, they were like, this dude was out cleaning his car like a madman.
Oh shit!
And then he was like, yeah. So like we're reading that police report, I was like, that's really great.
And you were talking to this dude?
Yeah, just like across the table, and I was like, and again in that line of work, you have to just be like, oh yeah, no problem.
Cool.
You know
Next
what I mean?
question.
Yeah. And like sometimes you see some characters come in who you know from Sunday papers, like some well-known
Page
characters.
3.
Yeah,
Just cans for
Joan of Arc. Yeah, and sometimes you're like, oh, well, I know you're a bad egg.
Yeah,
and I've read about you. You know?
Yeah.
And then I had a guy who was, like, not just a pedo, he was a practicing pedo. Oh. And like, he looked like, you know, the guy from, have you ever seen Kindergarten Cop?
Yes.
You know the scary guy, like the fisherman coat and all, and he's like long hair. And he's
Yeah,
really
long dark
terrifying.
hair. Yeah.
Him, he was like, and he had a fake eye and all, and he was horrendous.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then it's like, what happened to your eye? Oh, he's a car accident. I was like, oh, well, that's not what I thought. I thought, you know, like,
Yeah.
like the parents had come after you like Freddy Krueger, but no, it's a car accident, and he had done like forced buggery of animals and all children. It was just stinking.
Is that what it's called? Forced buggery.
Forced buggery.
Is that what it's written down?
Yeah, forced buggery.
Forced buggery
Yeah.
of animals. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, all
Dirty
buggery of animals is
bastard.
forced.
Yeah,
It's
like I don't think your dogs, like you're coming home with your dogs. That was
No.
something.
I mean, it goes without saying, but I would never want to have sex with my dog,
no.
even if I was attracted to animals, because it's my bro. Like
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
feel
like-
so bad. Like
Yeah.
that would so wrong.
and then like he
They would never look at you right.
No, he would be like, and
You'd be
then,
like, dude,
you couldn't just
what
have
the
his head.
Fuck.
You
We're
know?
trying to watch Dexter.
yeah, and you're like, nah, man, it's ruined. We've wrecked this. So that's all I'm saying is I will not. But having spoken to that guy, I'm sure I know I've spoken to probably at least 5 or 6 people who have killed people.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been in situations where you've been in a bar and everyone's like, that guy over there has literally murdered people, and you're like, oh, and then he comes over to you and he's like, how's it going, lads?
Yeah.
No,
You're like,
"Ugh."
well, it's okay now. You're not going to murder. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're like-
Yeah, no, it's weird.
and they're like, no, are you hung? I'm like, ha ha, no.
are you hung?
Are you?
Are you hungry?
Because listen, I used to kill, now I sell cock rings, and I have a few in this bag if you're looking hooked up.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be able to live with myself. If I did something like that, I'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I've fucked it.
Yeah, and
I'm
I would
out.
also be so guilty as well. Like, I couldn't see. There's a few things I could not do. Kill somebody and like your man who's a Green River killer. Oh, what's his name? Gary Ridgway. He killed like 80 women, and
That's
then
a lot.
but then he was a full family guy. So just he's traveling around, killed them, dumped the bodies, went back,
Which just shows how hard it
Yeah.
is having a wife, eh? Hey, you need to let off some steam.
and then like in interviews afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, I did think about killing her a couple of times, but I thought I'd probably get scooped for that."
Yeah.
Dead obvious.
Imagine finding out the only reason like your husband didn't kill you is he was just worried about getting it'd be too
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah.
But that's sometimes I'm like, these killers don't seem to like. When you hear their stories, you're like, obviously you were going to get caught, bro. Like you
Yeah.
killed your ma and then like just lived in her house, assuming no one would ever ask who your ma was again. Like,
Yeah.
think, bro.
But then this is back to the sociopath guy. They don't.
They don't,
You know?
or they don't care. They know they're like, see this book of that girl I'm reading. She's like, she never went too far. She made up rules for herself. She's like, never
Like
hurt.
Dexter?
Yeah, dude. She was like, never hurt people, and don't hurt like animals. And because she was like, I know doing these things are wrong. Don't care that they're wrong, but she was like, they definitely draw too much attention, and I don't want attention because I don't like people.
Yeah.
So that's why she didn't do bad things.
So that is mental. So that's he's like, listen.
Yeah,
I
that's still
would-
like if someone told you, I'd be like, I'm still uneasy around you. Like,
Yeah, I'd be like, listen, I just to be honest don't want the hassle of people. But
I mean, I would love to.
if I killed you out in this camping trip,
Yeah, man, that would scare me. Like, so there's been a few occasions where, like, I don't smoke weed anymore, but I remember hanging out with a couple of mates, and we were all smoking weed, and then one of them was like, they lived near a forest. They're like, let's go in the forest, and we went down there at night, and dude, we were like lying, just chilling, looking at the stars, and he started playing like the Dexter theme tune because he loved Dexter, and the whole time I was like, these two just brought me here to kill me.
Yeah.
I was like, they're going to kill me. I was like, I need to go, lads.
and did
That's
they
what-
let you go? Or they
Yeah,
like,
let me go, lad.
you know, it would have been so awkward if you'd have gone. They'd be like, "Oh man, I've the wee like kill space set up with all the cling film and all, and shit, we balled it. We shouldn't have got so high."
Yeah, exactly. I know. I dodged death.
But then, like, it's like nowadays, like you don't hear about serial killers like in the modern era because it'd be so hard to get
Apparently,
away with.
there's talk of an active one currently in Austin because over the last wreck of months, there's been men's bodies washing up in some river, and police are saying they're all not connected, but everyone on TikTok's like, this is like the fucking 8th guy.
But you know what? It's like sometimes stuff is
Google
just too similar.
Yeah,
You know, like do you see that smiley face killer? They thought it was like a serial killer thing that was going around like the schools,
yeah.
and they were drowning people, and we're like, it's a smiley face killer.
Yeah, so look, serial killer hysteria returns to Austin after another body pulled from Ladybird
shit.
Lake. Nothing has come to light that would indicate there is a serial killer, but everyone seems to think there is.
Yeah,
Do you know what? But like they always say it's not a serial killer, don't they? They try.
Yeah.
They've learned from their mistake. They're like, let's not make this guy infamous.
yeah, and then it's like,
Give him a cool logo.
yeah.
Like,
But then do you ever see someone and be like, these guys are naff?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? Like the BTK killer. Like
They're always Ugbos.
Pardon?
Or you're saying they're ugly?
No, but this guy just looked like if you saw him in the gym, you'd be like, oh, you destroy this guy. Like, he's just a sort of like. But
they're always like dweeby freaks.
Dweeby freaks. And like BTK guy, because like there's an interest in his daughter did a book actually being like very well named My Dad's BTK.
Nice.
And she's basically like, yeah, I mean, he was a great dad. No, I didn't know about all this other shit he was doing, which was not so sweet. But yeah, it's weird to find out. Like, and he was living this like, and he mugged himself so hard, right? So how he got caught was something like, so he'd been on the rip for like 30 years.
Jeez,
like
he's a big drinker.
Oh no, like
the serial killing
rip on the serial killing, okay. Just getting it done for 30 years. But he was like high up in his church and whatever else, and whatever.
They always are fucking high up in the church.
But whatever way he got caught was because he had sent like something, like a letter or something to the police, and they tracked it back to a floppy disk. And that's what got him, was on a floppy disk.
A floppy disk?
Yeah, and you know what the problem is? The floppy always gets you, and that's where the cock rings need to be.
Yeah.
That's what they got him. They're like,
circle.
who's the person that accessed this on the church computer? D. Raider.
Yeah.
And then they got him, and he was like, yeah. So BTK, like will you see this guy? Like, he's such a fucking... He's a piece of shit. Like, he obviously is a piece of shit, but he looks like a piece of shit.
Whilst you're looking at it, I'll tell you a quick story. There was I don't know what church it was. It was like local enough to Mahara, I've been told, but one of the priests was going to do like a slideshow of mass. I don't know what it was going to be about, Jesus or something. Popped in the fucking USB pen, hit play, or I was like, he brought it up, came up with a big projector, and it was just loads of pictures of him like fucking lads.
Oh no.
And he just had to leave the priesthood, and then like he just moved down south with his boyfriend.
Who's this dude? Just like
Jesus,
kicking about. Yeah, God.
Like anybody with those eyebrows.
But then that's the mask he wore, so that's a bit freaky.
Dude, that is fucking terrifying.
So like, yeah, he did that.
But anybody who's got the eyebrows that go like this, they come off the head and like spike up.
But like, that was him in court, and he was just chatting away, being like, yeah, I did this, I did that, I killed this whole family.
Jesus Christ.
But the way I call him BTK was because he bound them.
Bound, tortured, and killed.
Yeah. And that was... But like,
BTJ, bound, torture, and jack.
Yeah, but I mean, is that correct?
Some people are into that.
Yeah. But like, to be fair, he's dressing like the KFC guy there.
He actually does look like Colonel Chicken. Yeah, the guy behind him looks exactly the same as him as well.
Yeah, Colonel Jackin. I mean, I don't know why we're making him into like some sort of classic guy.
Just loves jacking off.
But he and his daughter was like, yeah, it's fucking mad that, you know, he's doing all this shit.
He did that,
and then he was like. He was in the court just saying, yeah, I did all this. This is exactly how this happened. Cut the phone lines, couldn't do. And then went and like bludgeoned one. I beat the dad to death or shot him first, and then kind of had a bit of crack with the wife and the kids. And then he's like, the first one went downstairs and just hung one of the kids.
Shit. I did actually see a documentary referencing that. That is, yeah, man. I think someone doing that kind of shit, like, obviously, is just such a different view of what the fuck's happening in reality. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's, you gotta have a warped ass mind.
Tell you what, this podcast called Sly Guy Podcast, those guys undoubtedly pretty sly.
This as sly as you can get.
Yeah. But then that's the thing. Like, see if I like, I mean, it's mental to even consider it. But see if I had done that, and then afterwards I'd be like, oh no. And you go home, and like Catherine would be like, oh, you doing today?
Oh.
No, I definitely didn't bind and torture and kill anyone.
Yeah, don't even think about that. If those are the three things you're thinking about, get them out of your head.
But you know, there's another thing. Like, kill kits are weird. Do you ever like
kill kits?
These serial killers like get the wee toolbox and have a kill kit. Like the guy, it's a human hand and head and hands.
Yeah.
This is before he killed anybody. His dad found he had this bag with like saws in it and like knives, and then they actually said in this documentary the dad disassembled the kill kit, and then the guy was like, oh, but he just went and made another one.
Everything we said just sounds like an amazing rock album.
Oh yeah,
Disassemble the Kill Kit.
Yeah,
bro, that is like an album. I would listen to that.
Yeah, have you heard what's the name of that band? It's like a fucking ridiculous name. It's like and you'll know us by the Trail of the Dead or something.
No, but that's
there's a band. It's like, yeah, and you will know us by the bodies left behind us.
Whoa, shit, bro.
Yeah, and then they just do classical violin.
Yeah. Just like covers of like fucking popular sitcom fucking shows. That's great. I think if you find a bag full of saws and shit in your son's room, it's not going well.
No. And then like, but how do you address it? Because now I think I've told this story in the podcast before.
I'd ring the police. You're done, fucker. You're out of here. Yeah. 10 years old.
My mum found a hatchet beside my bed once.
Oh shit.
But what had happened was at a mate's house, blocked, and I was walking home, And like my parents lived down this really scary lane. It's like really like scary,
Chilling.
very dark. So then I blocked that. He was like, "You'll be all right getting home yourself." Like taxi. I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." And then I remember my mate. He was like, "Do you need a weapon?" I was like, "Do you have weapons?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've got a few." And he brought me into the garage. And I was like, "Some of these like my dad's tools. If you want to take that." And he had like, screwdrivers. And I was like looking at it, like, "This is pretty nifty." And then I just walked
said,
home.
"Yeah, you could kill someone with that." He's like, "Here, bro, take this crossbow for your walk home."
Yeah.
Just like the whole way home.
It was my mum's logic. It was like me with her and the weight plate cock ring thing. She was like, the next day I woke up and she goes, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a hatchet." She was like,
"Oh, it's a hatchet.
Why have you got it?" And I was like, "Oh, I had to walk home by myself." And she's like, What, but why? And I was like, "Oh, just someone confronted me." And she's like, "If someone, what?
You were going to chop their head off."
And then when she said that, I was like, "Yeah, that doesn't paint me a good look." I was like, thankfully that didn't happen, because I don't think it would have killed somebody, but it would have definitely been a hard thing to explain.
Yeah, like, just brought one of your neighbours coming like, "Hello, Dave." And like, just hatchet. It's a broad daylight.
It was a one-hand jobby too, because it was about that size, so it was like a tomahawk.
Jeez.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
that sounds kind of cool.
That sounds like that'd be a fun start to a movie. A guy who just by accident, and then in court they're like, "You had pre-planned." I'm like, "No, I was blocked," and my friend had a great suggestion for me to take myself, and it's a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be a good movie actually.
And then you're like, "Oh, but genuinely, I didn't want to kill anyone. I just accidentally did it."
Yeah, I think that'd be the worst, accidentally killing someone. That's a weird dose of, that's a weird life to be given.
Yeah.
By the Lord Almighty. You're going to kill someone by accident. You just have to deal with it.
Have you ever watched the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise, where he like predicts the future?
Yes.
And there's a crime in it, and he's like one of the top policemen. And these
is this the movie where they're like, everybody's brain's hooked up to some system, and the police arrest people if they think of crimes?
Yes.
So they're like, "Oh, he's reached the level where he's going to do it. Let's go get him."
Like they see the future, and they're like, "He's done it." Like in Tom Cruise, you're like, he kills a guy, and he's like, I don't.
Yeah, and he's like, "You will."
"No, you do." And then it turns out he does, but the story explains how it's kind of like justified. Then also there's sometimes in there, like, human bodies are so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like some guy will like fall from like 30 stories and land on a bin and be like, "Oh, you had 2 broken legs," and he's sweet.
I always wonder that.
Yeah, the guy will trip and fall and bang their head and die. And
the whole body explodes.
What do you do? No, it's so fucking mad. It's like, so you could accidentally kill someone and be like, "He's so pussy, that's not my fault."
It's not my fault he had a shite body.
Yeah, and then there's this other guy who's just like fucking made of steel.
That's like the videos of people on crack. They fall off like 3-story buildings, just get up and run away. It's like crack powers.
Maybe ironically, crack don't crack.
Crack don't crack at all.
You're not cracking.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think if you're like fueled up on crack, the amount of adrenaline that gives you could probably do fucking anything.
Because you know, if you were one of the, have you heard of the bath salt guys?
Yep.
That like they just eating
Eat faces.
Like when you come down, like, have you ever come down from anything or like sobered up or anything and been like, "Oh, I'm a little bit embarrassed about my behaviour there"?
Yeah, well, yeah, like after a night out, you're like, "Oh, it's being cringy."
Yeah, imagine you're just in a cell and you're like, "Oh man, my head is fucking pounding. Where's my clothes?" And they're like, "Oh, you'll never believe what you did."
Like, "Well, don't tell me that. I hate being hungover."
You ate some what?
You ate someone's face, lad.
And you're like, can I just honestly say that was not my intention?
Don't mind it.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
And like, "Well, are you going to do on those bath salts again?" And they go, "I promise, if you let me go, I'll stay clear of the relapse. I will avoid it at all costs."
Man, that was like the hype of zombie hysteria. Remember, everyone was like, "Zombies are coming," because there was like several stories of bath salt face eating. You don't hear about it anymore.
No,
what was going on?
But then, like, there's this thing, isn't there, in like in hysteria, and like if one thing happens, there's like a lot of stuff still happening, but people don't report it. So if like someone's attacked by a dog, then another dog, they're like, and there's a pandemic of dog
even
attacks.
Though like that shit was probably happening the entire time from multiple breeds of dogs. Do you know what I mean? But like
that's what they're doing. They're like, "Oh, people are reporting it more now." Yeah, like people are eating faces flat out. It's an epidemic.
But I guarantee there's people eating faces still.
Yeah.
Do you remember the clown? Crazy clown?
Yeah, with just people just being scary
for
clowns.
like a whole year. It's just like clown sightings. There was one in Mahara and everything. It was way. Like,
but here's the thing:
that about?
Is someone doing that for banter, or are they just full mental?
I think. Well, they're mental, but to them it is good crack. They're like, it'd be fun just to stand dressed as a clown in a creepy location.
Yeah, It's like you ever see the kids are like, oh, we're just going to throw some stuff off flyovers, and then they hit a car window, it goes through, and the guy crashes, dies. You're like,
yeah, see, right. See, when I was a kid, I think I never got in trouble because I always knew when to be like, whoa, lads, taking this too far, I'm out. But then, like, I never understood why people just, like, not killing people. Like, but just, like, even in class, if they were fucking around a wee bit too much, I could always tell the teacher was, like, kind of catching on, and I was like, back away.
Yeah. Be like,
I'm out.
It always reminds me of a friend of mine's dad would always have this saying. He'd be like, listen, lads, the fun's been had.
Yeah.
The fun's been had. Stop it.
Get out when it's the best crack.
Mm-hmm. And it always springs to mind times in school. It's always awkward in school when the bad boy just wants to still be bad. And you're like, you've been bad enough. Everybody gets you're bad.
Yeah.
Don't be bad. Like, don't. And then I always hated it whenever, like, there was a couple of girls in my class who was like, who thought it was cool, like, cool to be cheeky to teachers. And you're like, no, don't.
Oh, man, I was such a nerd in school, right? Like, I would probably have enjoyed school, but, like, see when people in your class were messing around, I was like, I want to learn English, lads.
Yeah.
I want to know what's happening in How to Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, oh, what a book.
Fucking great book. Gregory Peck, lad. Holy shit. In the movie. But yeah, I was always like, so eventually I just had to give up. I was like, no one cares, so I just have to, I'll just coast by it. Yeah, that's depressing. But
I think, do you ever think now, like we were having this conversation today, but like if I were in school now, I'd kill it.
Oh, lad, I feel like
I would enjoy school.
See, if you're going to repeat all the GCSEs you did, we'll give you a year. Lad, I would fucking ace everything.
Yeah. I would love to redo my GCSEs.
Yeah, you probably can.
Let's fucking do our GCSEs again.
That'll be a fun vlog or like a video series. Yeah. I went back and did my GCSEs. And then, can you imagine you just did worse?
Yeah.
Like, don't even publish it.
What would be so funny would be...
I'm actually way more stupid than I thought I was.
Like, you know, you turn up and you're like, oh, is this the exam moderator? And it's like, no, Dave's just going to sit in this exam hall and do his GCSEs. Like,
yeah.
This is a show.
Yeah. Shit, how many years was he held back? That's embarrassing.
But yeah, I think like even uni, now that like with my current life, I'd be like, I would fit my studies around just the kids and family life and stuff.
Yep.
I'd be like, I don't need to do all the partying.
Oh man, fuck the partying, lad.
Just let me learn.
Do you know what was a crazy revelation for me? And it's like, obviously, bro, in my final year uni, I was like, do you know what? I'm actually going to do all the work. And I loved it. I was like, I wasn't scared to open my emails. I wasn't like avoiding class. I just fucking did everything. Did well. It's like, wait, just do it and you're doing good. Like,
but see, that's that thing too of like, I still think you're very young to do all that studying. Do you know what I mean? For like the organizer, like, we were around at
once you learn about jacking off, you ain't studying. Like,
yeah, but that used to be my go-to reward.
Yeah, do your work and you can jack it.
Yeah. So you do study break. Jack time.
I know a guy who was caught in internal suspension in my school jacking it by a teacher.
What's that?
So internal suspension is like you've been so bad there's like just sit in a fucking room by yourself.
For some reason I pictured him just in the air. I was like, what is this? Like,
in frozen animation. He's just in the air. It's like, how is he even jacking it? But no, it was just they just put him in internal suspension, left him there all day, and when the teacher finally came back in, he was just jacking his hog. She's like, Jesus.
But you know what? It's like that thing. If you leave like an infinite amount of monkeys with an infinite amount of typewriters, they're going to write the works of Shakespeare. If you leave a teenage guy in a room by himself long enough, he's
eventually going to jack off. Like, there's nothing stopping him. Like,
no. And then like if you leave him with biology books,
there's some titties in there. Some like you can see the inside of titties. Yeah. I don't know if they're into that.
Well, maybe that's a sociopath. This year, you know what I like? I like a titty.
Yeah,
I'd like to see what inside.
I like a spliced open teddy better. But that's like, do you remember being that age when you were just like, your parents were like, "Oh, we're going out, and we'll be out for about 2 hours." You're like, "Really?" And you're like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Oh my god!" As soon as they leave, you're like fully nude, and you're like jacking it. So
it's like, start a Power Ranger.
Yeah,
it's jacking.
That fuck yeah.
Then my parents were a bit.
It's like, morphin' time.
Morphing into a dirty wee bastard. That's my mum. Now I do it all the time, and my dad must have the same sort of.
I was like, what
mindset as me, but he would forget shit. So you go to the house, the car would go. I'd be like, jacking, and then the keys. You're like, fuck's sake, Dad.
Yeah, bro. That's a rookie mistake because when your parents leave, they're coming back.
Yeah,
you need to wait at least 15 minutes because. Within the first 5, your dad will be back. I'm just wet a toilet. Oh, I forgot this. Forgot the keys, and you're like, I'm trying to jack it here, lad.
Yeah, like he comes back and it takes time to get the trousers up and take the belt off your neck. Fuck's sake, that.
The porn's always like. Do you ever link porn up to the main TV in your house when your parents left?
Oh,
I had a PlayStation in the front, and I was like, "Fuck."
See, this is the slight difference in times. We were the VHS tapes, so what you had to do in those days amongst the boys, we'd work out whoever could like get the access to the Freeview, they record the Freeview, and then
the 10-minute Freeview
would work that around, you know.
I remember the 10-minute Freeview, lad. That was a very exciting time of the night. Every night at 11 o'clock.
Very aggressive music. Do you not want fucking alcohol? Cock? Yeah, write it down. You'd be better, believe it.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
14.
And then and afterwards you're like, because I didn't know what happened initially before it came out, and then one night it came out, and I was like, oh no, this is much more.
Well, the first time you bust?
Yeah, I was like, this is too much.
I remember the first time I was on holidays in Spain, and I bust, and I was like, the rest of that holiday was just wankapalooza. Yeah. I was jacking it every day, like.
Yeah, I mean, it is like the old adage for Pringles.
Yeah, which probably do not stop.
You cannot stop. Yeah, that was. Do you remember what it was that you got you to that point?
I actually, oh my god, it was so weird. I actually remember I was at like a birthday party and there was other boys there, and they just asked, they were like, hey, did you ever like wank your penis? And I was like,
I mean, no, that's a problem.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, I don't think so. They were like, you can do that, you know. And I was like, that's mad. And then I went home and tried, and I was like, oh, I
have a motto in life that I've always lived by. See if older guys come over to you and be like, man.
Yeah, it was very, like, thinking back, you're like, that was weird.
Yeah, like, did you go back to the party the next day to be like, guys,
the party's still going on?
You called it. You know, you just guys knew what's up.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was like, I had this wee system that I worked and I thought, this is foolproof, nobody knows shit. Yeah. And it was basically, my dad would read The Sun, and there's page 3, and I'd be like, I'm away for a dump here. And then one day I was like, I'm away for a dump here, and one of my dad's mates, he goes, oh, you're just away for a wank, are you? And I was like, fuck. You know, like when the serial killers in the house and all the police go around the house and the SWAT team, she's like, I am scooped. I was like, fuck this grand plan that was under wraps for years. I've been outed. One
of my earliest memories is I used to be babysitting my auntie, and I remember my earliest memory, she left The Sun in the living room, and I was just staring at the tits being like, what the fuck, it's so weird. And my auntie came in, like, what are you looking at, you dirty beaver? I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew there was something going on. I was like, there's something here, like, just pure tits. And I'm like, something about this, bro.
Yeah, you can figure that out, but it's a weird time, because that's where sex education is weird in school. A man has an erection and he ejaculates in the vagina.
Yeah, and it's always like a video from like the 1400s.
Yeah.
Have you ever jacked off your penis?
Yeah, and it's just that guy from the party. Hey, have you ever thought about this?
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, sometimes you will just get a root. Like, that's the shit of guy being like, listen, kids, don't worry about it. Sometimes you get a reroute. It's okay to jack, but make sure you clean that shit up, because guys will jack, you know. And if you want to play that bean bass, girls, you can do it. Work away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Jack.
No, and when you're that age, you're disgusting. But my friend, like we were talking about there recently, and he said when he was young, like, you don't think about it, but he was like, oh, like, I used to just jack off onto my bed sheets and just go there and go to sleep. And he was like, when you wake up, it was gone. And then he was like, I didn't think about. My ma obviously came in that room and was like, stinks of jizz in here. Do you know what I mean? This is disgusting, I'm sorry, but he told me that.
Yeah, and you'd be like, yeah, and your mum would clean it and not say.
Yeah.
But then imagine your mum was like, have you just been jizzing everywhere?
Yeah, it's like, if you're going to fucking jizz in the toilet.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Sometimes you say too much on podcasts.
Yeah, no,
I remember once I got a new bed. I went away on holidays and my mates got a new bed when I came back.
Right.
And like, I knew there was a paper mache, like a child being formed down the back of my bed, and I know when they pulled out the bed, it'd be like,
oh, like when you came back, like you realised that they had seen it all.
No, but there's a new bed.
Oh, that's
so they would have taken the old
crazy.
Bed away, and I'm like, oh no, and it's never been mentioned, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, there's definitely.
I have a similar story. We went on holidays, and I remember. I don't know how the fuck I came into having them all, but I had like 30 condoms in my drawer that were not used ever. And I had like so many of them in my sock drawer. And I came back from the holidays. My dad didn't go on this holiday. It was just my mum and like my sisters and shit and my aunties or whatever. But we came back and they were all moved, and I was just like, oh shit. No one ever mentioned it to me, but they were not in the drawer. And then like fucking years later, I went into, because I had like a cupboard, but I never used the bottom shelf. There's a pile of random shit in there. They were just all in there. My dad just moved them to fuck with me.
That's a good
And then
move.
I never asked about it.
You know what would have been ultimately baller from him? If he just had so many posh wanks in your life and made like a chandelier out of them. And sung it.
Jesus. Did you just fart? Oh my god.
Yeah, I did. I laughed too hard. Your dad's just chandelier. Then I farted.
That's gross, lad.
That was funny. Sorry about that.
That was so funny.
Imagine ever getting the tone so wrong. Your dad's like, show him. What do you think?
Oh, this will get him. And I was like, you went way too far. Like, that was not funny.
We were away for 3 days. There's 30
dons, 10 wanks a day.
Yeah. Do you ever remember that was a period of time when posh wanks was what guys thought was a sweet thing to do?
Yeah, you just thought it was crazy having a condom. You're like, I don't want to look on. And then you realize, why the fuck would I do that? That's fucking shit.
Oh man, I'm so embarrassed for it.
That's one of the ones you just move from.
Yeah.
Or you're in the gym and you've got your earphones on, and you squat and you fart, and you're like, I have no idea how loud that was.
No,
There's people looking at me.
I did one the other day when I was out running. I was like, this is a quiet road. And there's someone ready to just run right up behind me. And I was like, like farting. I was just running like on the...
You can just hear them be like, oh my Jesus Christ, in my mouth. They just collapse behind you and you just never know.
Oh man, yeah, I was running alongside a dual carriageway, so I could have just jumped in front of a car and been like, listen, I'm sorry guys.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, yeah, so yeah, you do a lot of training at the minute.
My dad's wearing chandelier. That's an image I'll never get out of my head. I've literally seen it since you said it. It's just been seared into my brain.
But that is such... Do you ever like try to write stuff or sketches or scenes and stuff, and you just imagine the scene, and that to me is so funny. Because imagine the thought if a dad did that.
He said this would be so funny.
Yeah, this is going to be funny.
It's like guy who just takes things way too far every time. He can't tell what's funny or not.
Yeah. You had 30 condoms in your drawer. Think again. Like, where are they now? Yeah. Check out this fucking room of illumination. Illumination in here. This, and like, what is that? Yeah, it's a chandelier filled with tied up
with my combos. I got you. You're like, Jesus Christ.
You know what? Somewhere down the line, this is gonna appear in a sketch or something, and people will be like, "This was the moment that they jizz chandelier here."
Do you know what the craziest thing about that is? I literally think that anything you can think of has happened somewhere on Earth.
Yeah,
someone's done that. Someone's made a wank chandelier.
Yeah, just of all condoms.
Yeah, guaranteed it.
But you'd be like, that's that in and of itself, that like little bags of spunk are bad enough. Why have you put lights in it?
Yeah,
there's a lot of work.
There's a lot of presentation going to this.
Oh wow! So speaking of presentation, let's talk about all your fitness. Like, we need to bring it back from just this world of.
That's just an absolute world of filth for ages.
But it was a lot of fun.
Serial killing and wanks.
Now, speaking of which, are you going to take a break from the serial killing and wanks to get this marathon this Sunday?
The crazy thing about this marathon is on Friday past, I thought it was on Sunday. I thought the marathon was last Sunday.
You didn't turn up?
No, because on the Friday I was like, I've only trained once in the marathons on Sunday. Do you know what? I'm just going to wing it. It'll be fine. And my mom was like, it's not until like the following Sunday. And I was like, fuck. It was a weird moment of like, fuck, that's like God just did that for me. So I really believed it was last Sunday. But yeah, I'm doing a wee bit of training, but I'm also training for the boxing. Fucking, yeah.
And how are you finding that? Like, how's the boxing training going?
I really like it.
Are you in a lot? Are you doing a lot of boxing
training? I need to do more, like, because I've only done 3 or so far, but from this point on, it's going to be a lot more regular.
And who is it you're fighting?
Big Darren Matthews, lad.
Oh, so our teammate from the marathon?
Yeah, lad.
You two guys are our Northern Irish comedians' most athletic guys, because you're training for a marathon and boxing. That's
boxing and just generally weightlifting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a lot of work.
Yeah, lad.
And how do you focus your? Are you treating the marathon then as like a precursor to the boxing, just as part of it?
I am going to. Yeah, this is like the marathon training is going to help me with the cardio. Do you know what? I listened to. Do you know what David Goggins said? What he did one time when he was out running, he like got all these videos of people chatting shit about him, and he recorded everything they said, and he made a mixtape of them chatting shit, and he listened to that when he was running. Like, it's not insane. He was just like, just pumped me up, like, all these people call me a cunt and a bitch. He was like, fuck yes.
Good idea.
It's not insane, like. That man he goes to the pain cave. Did you ever hear of the pain cave?
No.
Courtney Dewater, right? So she's a female ultra marathon runner. And when she's in the middle of these marathons, she calls it going to the pain cave. So she just goes to them recesses of her mind with all the darkest things, and she just thinks about that shit, and she's like, fuck her. And she's crazy, like, so she won one of her races like 8 hours before everybody else. An ultra marathon, like 8 hours or 4 hours. It was one of the two. Still crazy.
Still a fucking long time.
Yeah, 4 hours before anybody else passed the thing. She was like, phew.
Oh, that's fucking. But you know what? That's the thing, is like, with it, I know I'm not a great runner. I know I'm not a great runner. It's a challenge to take on. But like when I'm running, some days like I'm like, oh, I'm really sore, or my wee lungs aren't working. But then it's sort of like you sort of go, ignore the pain.
Yeah, lad.
And just
revel in it.
And then like you will be able to breathe unless you do die. And then if you die here.
Yeah, like you can breathe, it's just uncomfortable, and you're like, you just have to be like, oh, you're uncomfortable. Like, fuck up, just run. You know what I mean? Because like I say this and I'll cry during the marathon.
But you know what? I have a few things to do on Monday, and I wish I didn't have to do them on Monday, because I think I'm going to be fucked. And I'm only running a leg of it.
See, that's my thing. I'm not training to be fine during the marathon. I'm training so that I'm not completely fucked the next day. Yeah. So that my body's kind of used to it. Because I'm scared about that. Because, like, as you get older, I've started to realize, I'm like, that fucking lingers, that shit. Yeah. You don't just bounce back the next day and be sweet. Because
like, I got a bit cocky with my training, and that I was doing a bit of running. I'm like, I'm getting used to this. It's pretty sweet. And then one day I was leaving Holly to Rainbows, and I was like, that's not going to be an hour until I needed to be collected. Yeah. Sorry, she needs collected. So I need lifted, just scooped off the floor. But if it's an hour, you know what? I can just go out and go for a run. Yep. So I just left her off, went for a run, hopped back in the car after like 40 minutes, just sat there. Zero stretching. Next day, I felt like someone had come in and cut both my Achilles. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst pain I've ever
That happened to me. Like, I did the running, and I was like, that's sweet. And then for like 3 days after, it's like every time it feels like my hips are fucked when I'm walking. Like, this is good. Like,
no, this is not a sweet time.
But do you know what? It's just all mindset, lad. Like, again, that dog Courtney Dewater, she was on Rogan, and he was like, "What's your diet like? What are you eating? Like, you eating vegetables and all the electrolytes?" And she was like, "Snickers." She was like, "I had M&Ms." Like, she just didn't give a shit. He was like, "What?" She was like, "I just fucking eat sweets, bro." She's like, "I run 100 miles. Do you think I need to give a shit about what I'm eating?"
Yeah, there was a woman who I watched a documentary on Amazon when I was in the treadmill, and she was just like this older woman.
The Shredmill, more like.
What a great name.
That's another album name. The Shredmill.
But she was like, had her kneecap removed or something as a kid, because she had really bad like tendonitis or something. Or like cut her knee. And he's like, I was getting a bit of grief in my knee, so
just took him out.
I have this I run this animal sanctuary, and it's like I don't really have a lot of time to go to the gym to like whatever, so I just started running. And then it's like, fucking can be arse really doing it, but did it. And she became good at it. And she's like,
with no knees.
With like she's got one knee. Like, she's not a fucking total hero. But
she's boasting a bit.
But then it was like she was doing an ultra marathon in the desert, but it was this marathon where you had to bring all your own shit with you. So whatever you had carried, that's what you need for like sleeping and all this other shit. And then like her husband, our partner, was like, so basically she started off, she's like finished like third in the London Marathon and like fourth in the Boston Marathon, wins all these local marathons, and she's like in her 50s, and she's a freak, and she's like, well, it's the only option I had really to try to keep my knee from being sore.
So I just ran every fucking thing.
Yeah, and then she's like, you know what, it didn't bother me. And it's like, so there are certain people out there like Unbreakable, you know the film, where like they're just like they're freaks. Yeah, no, Goggins is a freak.
He has like, it's inspiring and shit, but he's a freak of nature. Like,
but then you're married to him. And you're like,
I thought you meant me. Like,
what? I'd be like, surprise.
Shit.
I've sorted something out for you because you hooked up.
I should have wore my Who's Gonna Carry the Boats t-shirt in this podcast. Yeah. God damn it. I should wear that on Sunday.
No, next. And then strip off. That's another thing. We are shit because I don't know what we have to wear.
No, me neither.
Do we have to collect it from somewhere?
There was like an email with a pile of rules of things we have to do before the thing, and I was like, I can't read that. It's too many words. And
you know what I'm going to do?
I just deleted it.
Put on a t-shirt and some shorts. And some Vaseline, and see you later.
Vaseline on the nerps.
Oh no, between the legs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get them in there.
You don't want that chiff.
No. But what was I saying before? Like, Goggins, just like his wife, she's like, Davey, can you drop the kids? Nope. Why? I'm running for 11 hours. No. can you just
not do
that today? He's like, what do you think I am? Some fuck, who's carrying the boats here? What's going on?
Bitch. But you know what? He's been married 4 times, so
there you go.
I think his final wife, like, she now gets it because she's out driving. She put up videos being like him running, and it's like 3 a.m. She's driving behind him, and she's just videoing. She's like, "This is David at 3 a.m. This just showing you this is what life is like every day for us, and I love it." No,
she sounds like Cleveland from
she's an old man who's a cartoon.
This is my husband, David.
David Goggins.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think like there comes a point where you're like, that's not David. I get it, it's fun and all, but it's not necessary.
At this point, it's not. It's no more. He's a millionaire now. Like, he's done. He's done. Well, he's training to be an ambulance. That's what he's saying. He's training to be an ambulance. He wants to carry full human bodies to the hospital with a team of like cardiac fucking doctors on his back, like resuscitating people. He just runs around.
Have you seen that guy? It's like, I make a noise of a siren. Just him on his shoulders.
David Goggins just painted like an ambulance. Is he doing white face? No, he's an ambulance.
No, it's neon face, mate. Don't worry about it.
They're yellow, aren't they?
Is this David Goggins? No, I'm an ambulance.
I'm a fucking ambulance, bitch.
Yeah,
I'm an ambulance, bitch.
But I mean, he would be too. That would be a guy that you wouldn't want to see when you're in a pickle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're like, say you have something like you break a leg, and you're like sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, was that a broken?"
Yeah, can you imagine you live with David Goggins? You're like, or at uni or something. You're like, I can't bother getting up for class, and I'm just like roasting you. He's like, "You fucking little loser." You're like, "Fuck off." Hungover.
Hey, David, can you just give me a break?
Can you just fuck up.
You fucking would want a break, wouldn't you, you pussy?
Only weak bitches want breaks. And you're like, fine.
But then you know what? But again, it comes a point, like, isn't it, with anything where like people respond to like it's like a football captain. You captains your team like Roy Keane. It'll just be like fucking get in there.
And you know what? It does make you be able to do it. Like it's almost like the tape you're playing in your mind is what they all say. Like, you can literally make yourself go from a state of, I'm so tired I can't be fucked, to so hyped and able to do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because that was the thing, we were chatting about walking the dog early mornings. Mm-hmm. My wife's like, I can't get out of bed. I was like, I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it.
Yep.
And then it's like, you do it often enough, it just becomes your wee habit.
Mm-hmm. And then you just become a wee buddy with your dog. And
yeah. And I've got a bit of shit of walking him early doors now, in fairness. But you know what, tomorrow I'm going to just take him out. Yeah. We've got a few questions for you. We'll get into because
holy shit! How long have we been recording? Is that 5 to 10?
It is, yeah.
That's wild.
You're not getting working out today, brother.
Damn! What time did we start this motherfucker?
Well, we're just having a bit of crack from 9
Fuck
o'clock.
Yeah! Let's see what questions you're going.
Natalie says, "What's so disrespectful?" She said, "Tell Cagney." And there's a muck in there.
Tell Cagney.
Hey Cagney.
That is disrespectful.
Tell Cagney throw out some of the air fresheners.
Who the fuck is this?
Natalie.
Throw it so. Oh, my car. I had like.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one of the videos I put up, me and my car had like 6 air fresheners attached.
But you're a fresh guy, fresh to death.
I'm like, they're all brand new as well. It's not even a collection. I buy 6 at once. And I'm like, this car's gonna smell amazing.
I bought one of a Mai Tai this week, and it's dope.
Yeah, bro, I smell like air fresheners. I bought a pile of Febreze recently. I'm constantly fresh cotton in my room. I light wee candles with lavender.
A good scent is important.
Fuck, so important.
Which makes me go back to what we were talking about at the very start. You'd be so fucked in the olden days if people just smell like shit all the time.
Yeah, can you imagine showing up like fresh linen?
If you turned up like some sort of like salesman of fragrance, you would take it. That's how you go back. Yeah. You'd be like, you know what, your breath's a bit stinky. Have a mint.
Have a mint.
Like, what? And they'd be like, lift up your arm.
Africa, bitch.
Yeah.
Africa.
And they'd be like, what even is Africa? But like, that's too much for me to explain.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
don't need to know.
But
you only technology. This is links Africa.
But what Natalie wants to know is once Cagney gets rid of some of the air fresheners, how are you feeling about the marathon?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited for the day. I know it's going to be a very exciting day. It's going to be lots of people cheering. Like, it'll be a good environment. I'll have like good music playing. I'll play a bit of Goggins, Call Me a Bitch.
Yeah.
It'll be fucking. I'm excited to make the playlist that I'm going to listen to.
Yes, I have actually had to cut some stuff from my playlist because some of the songs just aren't cutting for me.
Really?
And I was like, a lot of it was like dance music, and then I just stuck a load of Creed on, and that's done it.
Yeah, man. See, one of my memories when we were out drinking as like teen or in uni, and it was like after a night out, and everyone was walking home, and I remember for some reason I had earphones in my pocket. And when I was walking with a group of mates, put it in, and I think it might have been Creed.
Oh.
And I just was like, fuck this, and I just ran home. I just ran off, and they all thought I was going mental.
Well,
and I was like, no, I'm just feeling it, lad.
That's what you need. Just to be.
They all thought I went insane. It's like, can you take me higher?
Imagine you did that though. You just put that in, start running, and then you just lift it off.
Just
the
fucking
ground,
like,
and just like run. But I'll finish the marathon like this. Natalie says also waiting for the bomb squad in Edinburgh to start, and on my usual drive if getting more NI comedians in Edinburgh. When are you all coming?
dude, I can't wait. I want to get a show in Edinburgh, or like even just spots.
Yeah.
Anytime. I want to go over in August actually.
Yeah, the Fringe is a fun time to go. Lots happening. It's
I
good
can't.
to be
I keep
social.
knocking over, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go over this year.
Do you know what? You just got to apply that Goggins logic to everything. Just go.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? Do you know what I actually want to do? Because Adam Burden is doing this. He just has a week off, and he's like, "I'm just about to Austin."
Yeah.
He's like, "I just booked it, and I'm just going to go for a week by myself." And I was like, "I'm going to fucking do that next time I have a free week."
Yeah, what's weird that you want to go to Austin and you've just told me there's an active serial killer
Yeah.
dumping torsos in a lake. And you're like, I'll tell you what, I'll go and see that.
I'm going to fucking put an end to this.
Yeah.
None of that on my watch.
Remy says, scenario for you.
Right.
You're in your early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather sleep with 2 Victoria's Secrets models and no one knew?
Mm-hmm.
Or everybody did a thing to you, but you didn't do anything? Or everybody thing you did... everybody thing you did, but you didn't do anything.
Oh, he's saying, or if everybody thinks you did.
All right.
So would you rather get the ride, but nobody knows it, or everyone thinks you got the ride? Do you know what I think? Like saying you buck people doesn't hold any weight.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I don't care. So I'd probably just actually get the buck.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that was fun.
But what if it was like, if people were like, you bucked Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, for example? Like, it would need to be people like that.
Yeah, it needs. Yeah, because like there's. Yeah, because like he's presenting a scenario where it's like we live in an American Pie movie where if you buck 2 Victoria's Secret models, you're going to be king, prom king.
Yeah.
Whereas I think people would just be like, that's pretty cool, but it needs to be like.
But what if that was the rule? Like Victoria's like, but it's a secret.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, well, for me, it would definitely have to be Victoria's Secret. No one knew because I'd be in big trouble.
you'd be shit.
Like, I'd be like, I'm a bit of shit. For
Yeah,
that,
so it's like your scenario is like, would you rather fuck Vladimir Putin and have a 3 with Vladimir Putin and Trump, but no one knew, or didn't do it and everyone thinks you fucked them? Yeah, I mean, probably just be like, yeah, you can think it.
Yeah, because then the good thing about that would be, because no offense to Trump or Putin, but they're not the sexiest guys.
No,
like,
I doubt they're.
Guys I'd like to have sex with, it would not be them first and foremost.
They're definitely not slinging dick.
No, and I think they'd both be quite lazy.
Yeah, in my mind, they're both just lying there,
Yeah,
hoping you'll do something.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think you need someone who puts a bit of work in.
Can you do a Trump impression? I can't.
Not really.
I don't think
Sometimes I sometimes try, but it
Yeah,
always
that's
goes
it.
down. He goes,
Say, look at this dick. I
Because-
said, wow, look at this dick. It's amazing.
it's a fantastic dick, one of the best.
Ask anybody, they'll say it's the best dick.
Because you forget he's New York.
Yeah.
Like you have to add that fucking sort of New York accent to it a wee bit.
New
you know?
York, finally
So,
the
yeah.
best dick. No, I can't do it. That's sounded creepy.
Fantastic vagina. You know?
What a vagina.
But what's annoying is I can do a good George Bush, but it's too fucking late.
Yeah, you're always beyond your time.
Like let's do a Bush. It's like, ladies and gentlemen of America,
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden is a piece of shit. But yeah, I think I would rather just because then this is how you know what you're like as a person.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that you need respect from, the only person that you need any validation from.
Yeah, so this question's actually got some deep psychological ties to it. It's like, what we're really asking is, do you care more about what people think about you or what you think about yourself?
Yeah. And I think if you're totally content with yourself, you got to say...
You'd be like, you can think I fucked on people, but I didn't do it.
Yeah,
and I don't care.
Yeah, and you can say, you can tell my memories. Tell Kodak in my head that I didn't fuck 2 Victoria's Secrets models.
I do it every night, bro.
By the way, I know
in my
stuff
mind
for a fact too. And like, even when I know facts, sometimes it's not enough. I tell you what, I had an argument. I was away with Catherine, and we had an argument. For no reason, she just pulls it out. We were just walking home after a real nice night, nice dinner. So walking back to the hotel, she's like, "You're not 6 foot."
Oh.
And I was like, "But I am." And she's like, "No." I was looking at, "You're shorter than that." And I'm like, "No, I'm."
Why ruin a
And
fantastic
like, why bring that up? And I think what it was because I said she's been in bad form for about a week, and she's like, "Oh well, you're not 6 foot." And I
She
was
said
like,
she was cooking something. She's like, well, I'm going to fuck.
"Yeah."
Yeah, has that ever happened? Like you and her have been out at fantastic, great night, having the best crack ever, and then later on the night, she's like, remember in 2018 when you said, what did you mean by that? Like, no, what did you really mean by that?
And then you're like, ah, good one. And you're like, oh no.
You're like, this is serious. This is happening.
But then I was doing this thing, like this is how you know I had a feed of drink. I was trying to find apps because I couldn't prove that I was.
You're trying to find an app to measure you.
So like, yeah, I was trying to do this to like import my photo in to be like, can they tell me what this is? And then I even messaged Shane because we did a thing in Boytown that we're talking about. He looks taller than me because he's skinny.
Yep.
And like, because I don't look as tall, but I'm 6 foot, and we got tied, and we were the same height. And it was exactly the same height.
Interesting.
But he looks, because he's longer and thinner, and I'm...
Yeah, it just makes your mind think, yeah.
Like, I do have short legs. Like, my legs are 28 inches, so my upper body's like a long upper body. Weird.
I'm the opposite. My torso, I've got longer legs than my torso. So say if I'm like... Sorry, I just keep burping.
Well, I've fully farted, so I mean, don't worry about it.
Say, like, sometimes if I'm wearing, like, jeans with, like, a really tight t-shirt, I just look like I've got these really long legs and this wee tootsie torso. Like.
Does it look like you're Simon Cowell with a high waistband?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
I might try that.
See, I look the opposite, whereas, like, I can't actually get trousers that are short enough.
Yeah.
You know? And it was only whenever I got wedding suits made, the guy was like... I mean, it's
so what's up with your body?
See, man, you're weird. Your legs are really short. And, like, I think a guy said to me, I think it was like... He said something along the lines of, you know, you're kind of like the dimensions of a dwarf a bit, you know,
but like an adult, like a full, like 6 foot sized dwarf.
Yeah, like your upper body's really long. Because like for years, I always this weird thing in the office that people would be like, your seat's really low, and I'd be like, I don't know, because like
I've just got a really tall torso.
Like this is perfect, you know. I'm like this, but that's what it is. My legs are so short that my torso's long. So then when I'm in a low seat,
your seat's just on the floor, and you're just
and it's like it makes a lot of sense.
I had a really weird experience. I remember when I was going to get my formal suit fitted, and the guy was like measuring me, and he just went like this, and he's like, "You've got a really thick, fantastic neck," and he just kept like feeling it. And it would have been weird if I just wasn't so like, thank you.
Yeah.
I was so like, yeah, I do. Thanks.
Yeah, there's nothing better than getting proper
a compliment that wasn't meant to be a compliment, but you take it as a compliment.
Yeah, you have a really impressive. Your headspan is impressive.
You're like, yeah, I know. It's one of my most impressive things about me, actually, is my headspan.
Neck. Your neck is some dope shit.
Yeah.
Naomi says, have we seen the video of the comedian kicking the woman out of the show with a baby? What are your
He
thoughts?
kicked her out using a baby?
No, she
to
had a
get
baby.
The fuck
that would have been
Doof.
good. Yeah.
King Kong and his wee baby Kong, it happens in the movie.
Oh, Donkey Kong. Said, what are your thoughts on people bringing their babies or kids to show? Has it ever happened at any of your shows? Apologies for the sensible question. Never apologise.
It's never happened to me. If the woman was crying, you'd be like, obviously get out. But I don't think... If someone was sitting there with a baby, I'd be like, whatever. That's a weird choice, but...
Yeah,
do your thing.
I think it's weird. I think there's got to be a line between what people are doing. Now, as a parent, I would not bring my kids to that sort of shit, you know. And I also think like people need to be reined in with their dogs and animals a bit too. It's like you've got a dog, well done, leave it at home.
Yeah, man. This reminded me of two things. So number one, Doja Cat actually put up a record post about this thing specifically. She was like, don't bring your Waynes to my show. What the fuck is wrong with you? And all, she just like flat out called them all dickheads. And then also the second thing, I remember one of my earliest memories at Mass was this person's baby started crying in Mass and like was crying the entire way through Mass. And the priest goes, can you take that baby out? The dude stood up in front of the entire of Mass and just goes, Jesus would never kick out a child. And everyone cheered. And the priest was just like, shit, bro. It was fucking sick, lad. That is pretty cool. Like.
That is a burn for the priest.
And then he took the kid. He's like, "Fuck you," and walked out.
You know what that priest would have done? He would have gone and had sex that night, and just have done. Fuck it. I can't be a priest anymore.
Just roasted. So yeah, well, your baby's ugly as shit, and he just had to go for it. Then at that point, you know what, say something worse.
Just be like, you know what, man? No harm to you. I know the truth about Jesus, and Jesus dies, huh? Like, yeah, where is he now? Where? It's my house, bitch. Yeah. He'd risen again. Well, you know what? You're going to need to rise again, brother, if you don't take your baby out of my church. You know? I'm
going to kill you. You ain't going to rise 3 days later.
Yeah. Start
you imagine your priest just said something like that. I'm like, shit, this guy's serious. You're like, fuck. Everyone's just like, sorry.
Do you know what? Our boy, the Pope, could get away with something like that. You know? Out Francie could be like, listen.
Do you know what, like, the craziest thing ever? The Pope could instantly get every kid in this generation on his side. Like, do you know, on his Sunday addresses when he addresses his group of folk. If he just came out to like Gangster's Paradise, everyone would be like, legends.
Yeah. That I think I do think that they need to get some sort of vibier people into like the PR team behind the Vatican, social media things, you know.
I think they tried that with the mega churches that are like rock concerts now.
Yeah, but those guys always mug it because they're so wealthy. You know what I mean? Like the Pope. This is why people love Pope Francis. Was he came in? He's like, I don't need all this gold shit. Just give me wood.
Yeah, he's like, get wood and everything. Yeah,
just give me wood. And like after a point, you're like, Francis, you don't need to wear clogs. Like, motherfucker, I'm wearing clogs. You know, I'm a Dutch guy. You're like, you're Argentinian. Shut up. You know, it's like, this is what we're doing. I got Theo Von bit about wooden shirts. Be like, listen, this is just what we're doing. Shirt. Just wearing a wooden shirt, man. But you know what? Then, like, I've never been to Vatican City. It's somewhere I'd like to go and have a look. But apparently, like, anyone I've known has been to, it's like, it's a wee bit gross.
Yeah, because
like,
it's
what
like,
do you mean? It's just so opulent.
That was a good word.
Thank you.
Fucking yeah, because it's like all rich and shit. It's just surrounded by homeless Jews, like. Do you know what I mean? Jews? Homeless Jews.
Oh yeah.
Surrounded by fucking homeless Jews.
Yeah, he's fucking.
Oh shit, James.
Let me be a Christian.
Yeah.
You're like nah. Yeah. Oh, we'll build a tunnel on. Okay, right. You can come in. You can come in.
Oh, imagine they made like a new. Is it Worms? When you? Yeah. But it was just Jews. It's just them digging wee tunnels. And shit.
Called Jews.
Yeah. Just a game. We're just like, I'm just playing Jews, lad. And they're just digging wee fucking tunnels.
That'd be good. But you know what? See the Jews who built those tunnels? I reckon they were just bored. You know, like people are like, what are they doing it for? Sometimes as a dude, you just do stuff that you can't explain. Yeah. Like, why have you done that? I don't know why I did it.
Do you know what? Who's to say, like, I mean, when you're a bunch of lads at the beach when you were younger and you all just start digging a hole and everyone's having the best day of their life. That's all that happened. Everyone was locked in too long and they just started digging a tunnel and they were like, this is actually wild crack, lads, bringing us together. We're bonded.
They're in that place. Like, I think it started off as a synagogue and then they're like, guys, we can't really go anywhere else. Do you want
to just go down?
Like, I guarantee, I think you're not a young boy at any point in your life when you're on a beach digging. For a millisecond, you're like, I'm going to Australia. Yeah. Like, you always think, there's nothing that can stop me digging this hole. And then once you start, people are like, oh, you're approaching the core of the earth. Yeah. Like, you're going to cause a lot of hassle here if you keep going. You're like, no, I'm going to Australia.
And do you know what's crazy? Like, say if you dig a big hole at the beach, there will come a moment where people will be walking by and be like, that's a really big, that's fucking cool. That's huge.
But people are always startled by a good hole.
Yeah, we love it. We're like, whoa, that's really deep, lads. Fuck yeah.
You know what? It's like a Goggins thing. Like people can dig a hole at the beach, but people don't have the perseverance. Like
dig through concrete and keep on pipes going. And shit.
You know what I mean? And like you get to the point where you're digging a hole deep enough, you need to start chiseling in a ladder into the side of the hole so you can get out of the hole.
That is fuck. I read. So they just like talking about the beach. Me and my cousin both have a memory. Oh, my beard hairs or pubes is on the table. But both have a memory. When we were younger, we used to go on family trips to Galway. And the apartment complex, we were staying at this garden in it and a pile of hedges. And both of us share this memory. And we don't know if it's definitely not real. But we were like, why do we both remember this? We were in that garden and we were playing in the hedges. And we like pulled back one of the hedges. And we were on a beach. And I swear to living fuck, it is like that actually happened in my mind. And we were like walking around, then went back to the hedge, back in the apartment. And there was like, the other side of the hedge was a road, and then a fucking another pile of buildings, and then a beach. And we were like, obviously it didn't happen, but why do we both think that happened? Do you know what I mean?
There must be.
Like, did we go through like a fucking time? Or, do you know what people like? I see this shit on TikTok.
Yeah.
Weird memories from people's childhood. They're like, did that shit happen, or did you go through some warp in space?
Is that like a sliding door thing or Mandela effect thing?
Could be something like that.
Because sometimes there's stuff that I'm pretty sure that I've remembered, and I say to people, are like, that never happened. You're like, no. You're incorrect. It fully did.
Yeah. But then maybe you can like plant memories in your own mind that aren't. I remember thinking that as a kid as well, going, I wonder if I think of something now, will I years later think that actually happened too?
So you're
I was pre-gaslighting
yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder. So I was trying to think of something, and I was like, years from now, I'll try and think if that was real or not, and I can never remember what it was. But I had that thought.
But we were thinking about something similar to this earlier, that it was like, we're talking about when the kids were in Disneyland. It's like Matilda, who's 3, she's talking about stuff at Disneyland, but she'll not remember Disneyland.
Yeah. But that memory's going to be in her mind.
It's like, what does...
when she blows up the TV, that's when you know shit's going to kick off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the habit of the movie. That was the first thing.
Yeah, and then this is the thing, though, right? You think, how do memories go and how do memories stay?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a bank of memories, and like what do you do? And then
like you can get there's repressed memories. Like where the fuck are they at in your brain?
but then sometimes like
your brain.
you pull out a memory out of nowhere, like a name or something. Or like I have no idea how I remember that.
And that'll trigger like 6 other memories. You're like, oh shit.
Like that's why you never watch like this is why I said, like, do you ever have a dream and you wake up and you be like, if that was a film, I'm winning all the Oscars. Like how has that happened? Like there's times I wake up from dreams and I'm emotionally affected. I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
Do you remember those dreams when you're young? You wake up and you're like fucking actually sad and shit. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, oh, they're the worst. Like, and like I
haven't had that in like fucking 15 years.
You know what?
Like,
What is that point? Is there any like dream experts out there that know when that point is? Because I used to have a series of dreams where like I had amazing running and jumping and athletic abilities, like, and I'd be being chased by like wolves and
you
stuff.
can feel yourself when you jump up,
jumping over like I'm doing,
and you can feel the gap of the air. You're like, I actually feel what that experience is.
That move is how like I was running and jumping, and I'd always do like forward rolls and then get up again and keep going, and then wake up being like, that was a fucking rush.
Dude, you know what? Like I remember in uni, we were like smoking a lot of weed and we were like looking into like lucid dreaming, and I was like, I'm gonna try this. And I was sleeping in my room one morning, and I woke up and I looked in the mirror, and when I was looking in the mirror, I realized, I was like, oh shit, you're dreaming, bro. And I was like, I am fully aware I'm dreaming. I was like, this is nuts. So then I went out the front door. When I stepped out the front door,
in your dream,
in my dream, I was like in my room, and I was like, but I realized I was dreaming. I was having a lucid dream. So I was like, I'm going to go down out the front door of our house. So I went down the stairs out the front door, but I was like, before I go out, it's going to be space. And then after that, I was in space. And then I woke up and I was like, whoa, that was crazy. And then I think it happened like 2 or 3 more times that morning. And then I was never able to do it. Every other time I tried to do it, I got chased by a big scary monster in my dream, and then I never did it again.
I have never
Spooky
experienced it. Like, the worst is when you're in it and you try to go back to sleep to get back into it. You never can get back into it.
Yeah. I
would love to be able to do that.
Lucid dreaming, you have to practice it. I don't want to. I'm done with all that weird trippy shit. But back then, I was really interested. But you have to practice it, and there's like a whole there's ways you can guarantee it, but I can't remember the shit you have to do. But there is like a list of shit to guarantee a lucid dream.
I think I will lucid dream tonight because I'm nice and cozy and tired.
Yeah, lad. Yeah, you got them like sleepy cozy eyes.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'm feeling
with a wee bit of water around them. You're like, I'm gonna fucking chill when I go home.
You know what's so shit though? It's like when we finish this, I'll have to do the intro, and then I'll have to get myself up. This could be the sort of thing where I just sit here until like midnight.
Have you ever done this? Because
sitting here,
like just falling asleep here and waking up at like 1 o'clock. I'm like, Jesus.
There was one time when I first moved into this office, and I was like building all the shit. So like building that wee set of drawers and the desk and stuff. I was just like, I am so tired.
Yeah.
I think I just took a wee moment, and I was like, oh no, it's 2 o'clock. Let's go home.
Dude, there's been times where I've got home from like gigs or even work, and I've been so tired of my car parked outside the house that I've fallen asleep for like 4. Not even that long ago, I went to Lidl after work. I fell asleep in my car for 45 minutes in the car park at Lidl. Just like, I'm so tired.
Yes, but I'm a big advocate of just, if you need to sleep,
just let your body go.
Like I've fallen asleep in some pretty impressive. I fell asleep in a safari park once. Like when driving around, Cass was like, "You ruined that all." And I was like, "Well, you had a good time, but let me sleep."
Yeah.
I fell asleep on a sightseeing bus in New York City. That was pretty bad.
That sounds boring as fuck.
I was upstairs asleep. Fell asleep on a golf course watching the Open Golf. I had to get woken by a steward because my snoring was putting the player off. That was pretty embarrassing. And then like I also fell asleep another time at another golf course watching golf because I was just so hungover. I was just, you ever just get a hot day and then the ground, you feel like the heat coming off the ground, and I was just lying there in the grass like Liver King, you know, just my body on the ground.
Yes, fucking getting that vitamin D.
But my motherfucking friends left.
Yeah,
so there was the way, but then like on a golf course, everything moves to watch. So people just walk past and they're like,
just lying dead in the middle of a field.
Yeah, it was pretty. But I can
teeing off your fucking face.
But like I could go under here. So someone said to me, "You have to sleep here tonight." I'd be like, no problem.
I guarantee I'd have better sleep on that carpet than I would in my actual bed. I can fall asleep better in random places than my bed.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reason.
And what is the phenomenon? Do you find when you're like, I best go to bed now, and you're lying in your seat downstairs, and you're like, I best go to bed, I'm tired, and then you go, I can't be arsed, and then you'd be like, I could sleep here, and then you maybe waste 45 minutes to an hour trying to get yourself to bed.
I used to, if I ever was going to fall asleep and so far I'm sleeping here tonight, I would just pass out, wake up like 6 in the morning, and be like, that was fucking great.
Yeah. But then it's like I think I have a problem to explain then if that happens to me.
Yeah, why
So
did
it's
you
like,
not come to
why
bed?
did you not go to and be like, honestly,
I was jacking it.
Yeah.
I was making a fucking jizz chandelier.
Yeah.
And fell asleep.
Yeah, imagine that Sia song would take a totally different. I wanna come in a chandelier.
Chandelier. Yeah.
And you would make that noise in the chandelier. Jizz chandelier.
Yeah.
That's another great album.
Yeah, so we have a rack albums with Jizz Chandelier. We have Dismantle the, what's it called? Dismantle the something.
We'll go back
Dismantle the
and
Kill Kit.
Yes, Dismantle the Kill Kit.
That'll be a deadly one.
Oh, but listen, I think we all this talking about bed.
It's so late, lad.
We gotta go home. Yeah,
Fucking 20 past 10.
20 past
Christ
10.
the
I
night.
have a 10-minute intro to do here.
Jesus, tits in heaven.
Do you know what? This was a really fun podcast.
That was fun.
It was silly. It was fun.
Silly, it was gross.
It was and
It was dark and
Goggins.
motivational.
Dark. Yeah.
Good.
Tremendous. McKegney or Cagney from now on.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Where can people find you for a new podcast? Absolutely shafted.
New podcast with my cousin, Absolute Shafted on Instagram, at Absolute Shafted, Absolute Shafted on YouTube, and at Absolute Shafted on TikTok. Find me on my Instagram, at James McKegney. And that's it,
There
lad.
you go. And listen out for this Disassemble the Kill Kit. It's soon.
Oh,
Are you playing Disassemble the Kill Kit?
Oh, yeah, you'd have to play like a fucking. I just have a big block of wood with a saw, like the whole time. There's just me sawing a big block of wood.
There you go. Disassemble the Kill Kit. Coming soon. Into a chandelier.
Yes. Bye.
I'm the sly guy.